What do you mean?
It started.
Oh, it started?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna fix this up in the video then.
Yeah.
So, welcome to the Generational Podcast.
Episode
Episode 55.
It's supposed to be 55, but since they canceled 54 on us, because
We'll do a redo of 54.
I think it might have been because there was a gun on a Bible.
Yeah, I think so. I think that was it. You know,
We're just gonna kind of willy-nilly throw this one together.
yeah. I mean, considering that our perfectly fine 9 viewers are still watching.
Yeah, and nobody. It's for us anyway.
You know what? I don't think we need to be too paranoid about people judging us, Dad.
I don't give a shit.
Exactly. So when you're driving, don't give a crap.
That's different.
How's that different?
You know, when I drive, it's kind of like that's my bubble.
It is your bubble.
And
But you're not supposed to make it your bubble. That's what you told me.
No, I said you're supposed to make it your bubble, and you're supposed to make sure that you
Everybody
protect
inside
everybody
is safe.
inside that bubble.
Ah.
Yeah.
So is it your way of like concentrating on everything?
Well, I have this weird ability to look at a lot of different things all at once and do a lot of different things all at once.
Yeah, and usually when you're able to identify someone and their qualities, then you're usually right.
Usually, I don't miss out much when I'm looking at people.
No, not at all. I do think that people misinterpret you of being like nonchalant.
What do you mean nonchalant?
What I mean by that is not attentive and like around you in your surrounding area.
Do I play stupid?
I know you play stupid.
Yes, 100% out of the time I play dumb. I'll play the dumb idiot because, you know, I want everybody else around me to show their true colors. If they're an asshole, if they're genuine or not.
They usually do.
Yeah, and I can really see the ones that are scared because they won't ever do anything to my face. But they'll throw a look here or there. But they're always too scared to say or do anything to my face. And the ones that do say stuff to my face and confront me, I have respect for those people. So I usually have no problem with resolving things if people come correct. But if they don't come correct, then like I have no respect for them. So therefore, I'm gonna treat them like shit,
You know,
like crap, like poop.
I'm a little different because I take the good qualities of what you do, which is finding out who's giving you side eyes, right?
Yeah.
Without confronting you or telling you. They usually do it by sly comments, right?
Yeah.
Like other people can't catch them usually with their
Because
sly
they're too
comments.
stupid.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, that's how people are.
But then when you're like, they think they're so sly, and I don't understand.
Well,
Like,
they think they're smarter than you. So they think they can do certain things behind your back or to you. You know, like when I call out people for doing the shit they did in the past, and then they use family members to attack me.
that's
Like,
sly.
That's not sly. It's them trying to be smart and them being really stupid. And me seeing the whole thing for what it was. It's kind of like, you know, tanking my business.
Yeah, that's a big no-no.
And then to turn around, well, I got picked on, and you know, such bullshit. It's like when I asked this person, I asked them, I said, hey, you know, it's okay if you say no. No, I want to help you. Okay, well, just so you know that if you bail out on me, it's really gonna hurt me. And then bailed out on me. He knew exactly what he was doing, and then he just makes up excuses for it. Well, he was mean to me when I was a kid. No, I called your pedophile cousin out on Facebook for his deviant ways.
Oh, everything's on there. Yeah, we're good. I forget that phone has such a wide view.
Yeah, it's a good phone. But, you know, the feds are trying to look at all the pictures on it or something. It's weird. Like, you should be looking at my pedophile cousin.
Can I take a drink?
Not in Florida, by the way. Not the cousin that lives... I have other cousins that have some weird behavior when they're kids, but I'm not talking about them.
Well,
I'm talking about the ones that live in Kansas and it's a teacher and
Get away from family now.
I am away from them.
No, like topic away from family.
Yeah. Oh, what are we gonna do? Joe Biden?
No, not at all. So pedophiles now here in Florida are to be executed if they molest someone that's under the age of 12.
Yes, which is beautiful. You know what's funny though?
What?
The gay people have said this is attack on gays.
How's it an attack on gays? I mean,
only if you're a pedophile.
yeah.
Don't lump gays and pedophiles together. That's another thing.
Yeah.
Like they're gay. They're
insulting the gay community by doing that.
Yeah, no kidding. Like there's gays that are against the whole drag for kids story time.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole group against that, right? A whole group.
Yeah, and I heard that they believe that people are able to choose after the age of 18. Right? Which I think is still against God, but at the same time, it's their choice.
Yeah, I mean, freedom of religion, and you know how that goes.
Well, there's a saying where it was like, you don't hate the person, you hate the sin.
That's right. And that's fine. But in the case of children, it also says children are the most innocent of the innocents in the Bible, right?
Right.
Like, we have to protect them. That's what the Bible says.
You know what? I think that's just life in general.
Well, I mean, no, because in certain religions, they pass kids around.
Yeah, like the Middle Eastern ones.
Yeah, they believe that boy love is okay, which is gross.
Yeah.
That's gross. And I'm sure if there was a campaign against that the moms would stand up for it, to fight against it. They're in that religion. I believe they would.
You know what? In Iran, where there's more transgender reassignments going on than anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
I think we talked about this in an earlier podcast, but I gotta say, this is really funny because they're against gay and homosexuality, but they don't care if someone cuts off their private parts and then it changes. But then at the same time, nobody knows if a man turns into a woman because they're wearing
burqas.
Exactly.
They're wearing burqas. So you don't know, man. That's why they have so many wives. Like I said last time, that's why they have so many wives. Because it's like, oh, I got a woman this time. How about you? Come here. I want to marry you. Oh, another man. Cut it off there, will you? Finally a woman to have my children! He gets the third one. Yes! After the third wife. First two are men. Damn shame.
Does that make that man gay at that point? Where he can't...
I wouldn't know, man. I would not know. I don't know. I just know that black lesbian women hate me. They hate me.
Why?
I don't know. It's the old black lesbians that hate me.
Why?
I have no idea.
It's because you look too pretty, Dad.
It must be the hair.
It must be the hair.
Their hair's falling out, and then they're dyeing it pink or whatever, and marching
they're looking at your...
For Palestine.
They're looking at your, like... Didn't you have cornrows?
Yeah.
So they're looking at your cornrows all like...
Your cultural appropriation. What? Wait, what? What? What are you talking about?
You know what?
Florida man.
I think it's interesting that they say that white people having cornrows is cultural appropriation.
Yeah.
What was it? When they had Vikings that would do cornrows.
That was before that, huh?
Before. And I'm
so
like...
I guess who's
I think it's just the hairstyle. It looks
you
good.
Know,
if you got the hair, it looks good.
Listen, when you are raised 90% of your life looking like a dog, like straight up, you're fat, you got pimples on your face, you've got pink colored hair.
I think it's a pig.
All you have is hate in your heart. So then all you have is hate in your heart all the time. So then it's like, I want to have my abortions. Well, first you got to find somebody that's going to fuck you. Excuse my language.
I think Ben Shapiro said that, where it was.
I don't think he said it like that because he's a little more
not
proper
like that.
than me.
He said, these women that are advocating for abortion, they don't even have kids because nobody wants to have kids with them, and that's why they're mad.
It's true, and that's why. Imagine them. They're basically like a teenage kid, a young teenage boy, right?
On testosterone.
Just the testosterone's full, full of rage and hate, and they have no outlet because they don't exercise.
No.
They don't find any joy in anything besides licking Giner or
going against Trump.
or going against Trump. And then it's like I hate you because you're a man. Well, you don't even know me. You have nice hair and your wife's hot. You don't even know me.
You're a Christian.
I hate you even more. You don't even know me. Misogynistic pig. You're a fighter. You don't even know me. Like,
we haven't had a conversation.
You don't even know me. You just assume something. Just like when people look at me and they're like, oh, he must do cocaine. What? Like, what? First of all, I have not the desire nor the money to do cocaine. Like, I would be a poor dude if I did cocaine. And I wouldn't have a family. I wouldn't be able to pay for my cars. I wouldn't be able to have my house.
At least your house would be clean.
Or they're like... or they'd be like, you're a drug dealer.
Look at my house.
See the mansion, dude. Man, it's like I've kept my life clean, and the only thing I have besides God and you to thank for that is martial arts.
And you're gonna forget about your wife
and my wife Don't get me in trouble now. My wife keeps me very much on the straight and narrow too, because it took me a long time to find somebody that was supportive no matter what.
Well, great, Dad. I think I'll be able to find someone like that one day.
Well, I think that don't rush it is the best thing I can tell you. Don't rush it like I did. And keep your willy in your pants, because that little brain will try to think over this big one. And you don't want that to happen, because then it just...
Is it like a little chihuahua?
Dude, it's worse. It's worse. And I mean, I understand, like, you know, being your age and then all the sexual stuff that's getting thrown at you in the news and in the media and at school and here, and hopefully not at school.
Not at school.
Not at school. Because you're at a really good school.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
You're at a beautiful school that really, really, and you know, that school has also made me better. So I've tried, even though I cussed in today's podcast, I'm like, forgive me, Lord.
But the thing is, like, there's some people, Dad. There's some people, like the girl who tried to dance on me, right, during a dance. I was like, no. I was like, just dance, hit me or hand. I don't want the butt.
Because you know that's kind of, for you, I'm sure you're probably like, as soon as she started doing that, the little guy was like, yeah, boing. Everybody's little guy's gonna do that when a hot girl starts dancing on him, and you fought that. You were like, no, listen, you're making everything in the thoughts, and you don't want to stick back, I wasn't able to do that. I'm not lying. I wasn't able to have that kind of restraint, right? You know, what's that movie, The Da Vinci Code, where the priest is like whipping his back? That's like you at that moment. You were like cutting the razors in your back. No, please, God, no. I couldn't do that. I was like, the devil is speaking to me. Woo!
The little man.
The little man is talking. Let's go. Yeah. I was not like you. And I have to say, man, you got my respect on that aspect, but you've got my respect in a lot of avenues that
I mean, I try my best.
Dude, I didn't have the desire to do the things that you did, but also I didn't have you have like mentors in your life. Well, thank you. I think I'm supposed to be, but you've had other mentors.
Yeah, I have.
In your life that...
Some of them are good. Some of them are like good and bad.
You know, even the bad ones teach you a lesson. So that's one thing that I can tell you at 42 years old, that the bad still teaches you. So the bad will still teach you, like, you still learn something from it. So you have to thank those that did you bad as well, because you learned something from it. That Jocko Willink, you know, that good. We listen to it. It's good.
Good. Yeah.
Didn't get the job? Good. You know, couldn't do this? Good. People picked on you? Good. Get stronger.
Didn't do well in your test? Good. You get to study for the next one.
Yeah. Just this whole poor me attitude It's been like the last 20 something years. They want to blame everything on somebody else and point the finger. Oh, he did this or he did that. I don't like my biological father beat the snuff out of me. I'm with a belt, right? He didn't give a crap. Okay, he made me stronger. What did I learn from that? That I didn't do that to you.
No, you actually explained what I did wrong.
Yeah, well, I also didn't beat you from head to toe, black and blue.
No.
Right. So I learned that there is punishment, and there is when you're a parent, that it's good to punish. You know, spoil the rod, spare the child. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Or is it spoil the child, spare the rod? Spare the rod, spoil the child. Yeah. If you don't spank your kids, you're gonna spoil them. And these people are like, oh, little Timmy, I don't want to spank him. Well, now little Timmy's 25 years old and in jail.
I think
on
it's
on death row.
spoil the rod, spare the child.
Spare the rod, spoil the child.
Spare the rod, spoil the child.
Yeah, if you don't spank your kids, they're gonna be spoiled.
I think it's the other way around.
No.
Where it was like, if you
spare the rod, you spoil the child. So if you don't spank your kids will be spoiled.
Okay, then it's yeah.
So like in that one, it's
Was
like
that it?
yeah. Go ahead and look it up. I'm pretty sure that's the way it is. But if you don't spank your kids and you don't sit down and explain why you spank them, then they're just gonna be bad little kids, and you're gonna raise them to be entitled little blue-haired cusses screaming at fucking the sky, talking about they love communism, which is ridiculous. Because, you know, communism, everybody loses. Nobody wins.
Nobody does win in communism.
And see,
except
it's
for
always
the people running it.
It's always the losers that are crying about communism because they're already losers. So they want to bring everybody down to their level.
It's spare the rod, spoil the child.
I told you.
It means that if a parent refuses to discipline an unruly child, the child will grow accustomed to get in his own way and develop an air of entitlement.
Yep.
Becoming, in common, a spoiled brat.
Yeah. We know a few of those, don't we?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I like to blame others for everything.
I hope our listeners aren't like that. No.
Well, I mean, everybody, we all were
spoiled at some point.
Everybody goes through those stages in life. It's a matter of, did you stay at that stage?
Dad, I don't want to listen to you.
I'm 42 years old. Oh, I hate you, Dad. You're so mean. I'm going to my room. Like, okay.
I mean,
should have spanked him when he was younger.
Acting like that at like 26 is bad, I think. Acting like that after 18 is bad.
Acting like that
after
at
12.
13, 12, 10, 9. It should have been like at 7 or 8 years old is when you can like start to like have conversations where kids are like, oh, instead of going, oh, look, the sky pretty close. Right? Now you're like, hey, don't scream in public like that. Stop acting that way.
You embarrass me and you embarrass yourself.
Yeah, this is what you're doing. And if you do it, I'm going to make you even more embarrassed because you're embarrassing me. And they're like, you know, I had a liberal teacher in college try and tell me that I was a feminist. And I was like, what? Because I believe women should vote. I believe you shouldn't hit women. And I believe we should open the doors for women. And women should have fair wages as long as they can work the same as men. Yeah, you're a feminist. No, you're an idiot. And it's like, don't call me a feminist. I'm not putting on a pink pussy hat. I was like, I'm not doing that shit. Because there's like...
Hey, Dad. The only reason you use cuss words is because you're showing dominance.
I'm sorry. I'm showing that I'm angry or that I got flustered about it. And it's showing my, like, I'm being honest.
I heard that it was like a primordial...
Yeah, it's
way of speaking. It's like cats growling at each other.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Those are like cuss words to one another, so people use it to express
you also have to take into the fact that I'm a sailor. I was a sailor, and you're lucky that I'm using the S word and not the F word other time, because I did 4 years of doing.
You're still a sailor. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh no, I'm not, dude. There's people that are like, we'll give you a free cruise. I was like, you can keep your cruise. I don't want any more free cruises unless I'm going to blow stuff up. I don't want anything like that.
And even then, I don't think you want to be in a submarine.
No, that's terrifying. I don't want to do any of that. I don't even like getting in the water anymore.
You know, I was watching a video where these guys, they were underwater in a submarine and all they were doing was and nobody was able to speak. Nobody was able to move or clink.
Because they were finding the sonar?
No, because they were also in like near enemy territory.
Yeah.
So they can't make any kind of noise.
Yep.
And it sounds like
because they got somebody listening under there and they could hear it.
And then they're listening for them under there, and I'm like,
no,
that's a battle I don't want to be in.
Nope, I don't want to do that. Because what if somebody lets a...
No,
I ate beans last night!
Oh, no! Oh, no! There's a missile coming our way!
Yeah. Torpedo!
Rip of the century.
Damn it, Brown! Did you shit your pants? We're gonna die now down here! Oh, yeah.
Please till you die.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that. I can't remember his name. That chief's name in boot camp. Like, I remember it very, very, very vividly because it was burned in my mind. And they had 8 counts, right? Where it's like you have to do like burpees, and then you stand up and jumping jacks, and then like push-ups. And you basically, it's 8 different exercises all in one set. You do one of each. And man, he was a Filipino chief, and I didn't know what Filipinos were because I was from Kansas. Because I was like, "What, you mean like Mexican?" They're like, "No, like Filipino." I was like, "I don't understand." But he had that Filipino accent, and he was like, we had to have our lockers checked because everybody had lockers, and everything is attention to detail in the military, right? So when they train you, everything is like you have to fold everything the specific way. They give you a handbook that you have to read. Of course, I didn't read it, right? So then I'm just like folding up my stuff the way that I'm trying to watch everybody else doing and making my bed and stuff. And we had this inspection.
Was it the first inspection?
It was the first inspection.
Ooh.
But then he would come over and goes, "Brown, your locker is all jacked up!" And I was like, "Oh my God." He's yelling at me. He's, "Look at your skivvies! Your skivvies are not folded right! 8 counts till you die!" And I like got in the middle of the whole barracks, right? And I was doing 8 counts in front of the whole unit. And then we're talking like there's like at least like 75, 100 people there.
Were you the only one doing 8 counts?
I was the only one doing 8 counts in the middle of the thing, dude. And I mean, dude, I had a puddle around me as big as this. As I did so many 8 counts, I lost count and I started slipping and falling on my face. I had a pool of sweat. I'll tell you what, I never folded my skivvies wrong again. He killed me. I almost died.
Remember how to fold your skivvies down?
Oh, yeah, but I don't do it that way anymore. I throw them in a bag now, like, fuck it. I don't even care, dude. Throw it in the thing. But yeah, you know, they did things in order, and the reason why they did that is because in war, right, it's a stressful time. And you don't get to do safe space. So in war, there's no safe spaces in war.
Is it like every little
you're
thing
safe
you can control is what you have and what keeps you sane?
Well, everything keeps you safe, right? So every attention to detail is keeping you safe. So, like, if you're able to perform under pressure and you're able to be pay attention to every little detail of everything that you're doing, then you're able to handle the pressures of being shot at, or having a torpedo come, or having to lock down a barracks, or having to put out a fire. That during that whole time, that you remember every detail and every step in order to save the people near you. So like this whole thing of where like they created safe spaces for people, and we need to be a little bit lighter on the people in war. That's bullshit. Like, you're creating a weak military and you're creating a weak mind. Like, if you have a weak mind, don't join the military. It's not for you, right? You have to be a very strong individual to go into war, to sign on a paper, you know, because you're putting your life in danger. And then if you don't pay attention to the details and you can't perform under pressure, then you're putting other people's lives in danger because you can't handle it. So if you can't handle it, don't do it.
I think Jocko talked about how 50 out of 100 will fight. And then
I think it's less than that.
Will fight, and then 30 out of 100 will be part of your group 10 out of 100 will be exceptional, and then 1 out of 100 will be a hero.
Or 3 out of 100 are actual warriors.
3 out of 100, and then 1 will be a hero.
Well, I mean, I don't know about those numbers,
Well,
but
I
I know
don't remember
Jocko's
much
really,
about it, but
he knows a lot about that stuff.
Jocko's better at this than I am.
Oh yeah, but you know the thing is
I probably butchered that line.
you probably did. He'll probably talk to you about that one day.
He's like,
Right,
you
he's like,
remember.
I remember you, boy. Come here. Let me teach you something.
So, here's something interesting that I learned. It's getting a little hot, so I'll end it on this note.
Not
So,
for me.
there's this thing called the Loki method, and it's really interesting. So, to remember certain facts and certain details in your life, you have to look at a certain object and make it into something that's out of the ordinary, crazy. So you imagine that bed having a suit, and you implant it into your brain, and you say it 50, 30 times, and then you imagine it more than 10, 12 times. Now, when you imagine it and you walk by it, you'll think of that bed having a suit at some point of your day. And you'll be wondering, why does it have a suit? Why did I see a suit there? Because you used your imagination to remember something. So let's say that you're supposed to bring your suit to a tailor. Now, when you imagine that bed having a suit and you're walking by it a week later and you're like, oh, I'm supposed to bring that torpedo!
Yeah, better out than in. That's what I always say.
So when you imagine that bed having a suit on, then you'll be able to remember that you have to bring your suit to the tailor. So it's the same thing with memories. Like, so for a certain picture, you have a certain memory, and you imagine
Is this
that
like
memory
projecting?
every time you look at it.
Or
Yeah.
just remember?
It's pretty much...
Is it to remember things?
It's to remember things. It's to also... Yeah, it's pretty much to remember things.
So, I mean, I just repeat it in my head. Repeat.
So,
Just
Pretty
like
much what the Loki method is just imagining something beyond what's there. And then using that to remember certain details about the subject you need to remember about.
Are you doing like for school?
No, I just learned this on my own.
Okay, like I just repeat it in my head, like, "Hey dummy, don't forget your keys this time." And then I'll be like, "Hey dummy, don't forget your keys this time. Hey dummy, don't forget your keys this time." And then I'll get out the door and be like, "Ah, I forgot my keys." No,
My sunglasses!
Ah, jeez. Oh yeah. How many times have I lost those and blamed the feds? Like, feds, they're stealing stuff. No, they're not.
No, the only thing they stole was the computer.
Yeah, it's their job. They're worried. They're worried about patriots, saying patriotic things.
It should be
But they're not worried about the border and all the terrorists.
Or the BLM,
Yeah. Oh, by the way, that's just a whole nother thing. I love black people. I just don't like BLM.
Yeah.
I really don't like BLM.
Like the group itself.
The group itself. Black people are awesome. Black ladies are hot.
When they
Blacker the better, the sweeter the juice.
Trump, what was one of his...
Naomi Campbell?
Naomi Campbell,
Ooh,
right? I gotta tell you,
smoking.
how can you call Trump racist when he was with Naomi Campbell?
I think that's who he dated.
Yeah, that's what you told me.
Yeah,
So
I think
my question is, even Tupac would have
yeah.
told.
Yeah, I mean, dude, he hung out with Pac, bro. Like,
I mean, how are you gonna call that guy racist?
That's the thing, is Al Sharpton hung out with him too, and like,
the most racist person that has ever been a president in recent years is Biden.
Oh yeah, yeah, you were right about that.
So, your arguments are crap.
I mean, I think a lot of people are really like seeing what's going on, but it's not just Democrat or Republican. It's there's a very few Democrats, one that's worth it, and he just left the Democratic Party.
RFK.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh, now all the Democrats are saying, oh, he's campaigning for a right. No, he's not, dude. And then you have the right Republicans. There's so many of those that are just as bad as the Democrats.
Yeah, I agree.
They visited Epstein's Island, and they're on the fight list, and they've gotten foreign money. There's a handful,
and they're taking money.
There's a handful of them that's in the house that are actual worth it. And that's the thing, is like we start to sift through it by using social media and connecting with people that are making a change, and then they silence us for doing it.
And you know what? I think a giant problem is how news media is pushing groupthink.
Oh yeah, they push that for
instead of
time.
just
They
judging
hate this.
judging the individual by who they are. You're not supposed to judge the whole entire group. That's what Hitler did.
Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
Like, but they hate the fact that we have YouTube now, and that people like us can talk, and people might listen and then think, oh, you know what, they might be onto something there, you know, or they look it up and they're like, oh, they weren't lying. That's the truth. It's just, when you're in the military, you have to work with both sides, so you see that they're just the same coin, right? It's not, they're all just sucking money from us.
Same coin, different sides.
Yeah, well, it's not even a different side. They're just the same. They're the same. They're like, all their lobbyists. They're taking money and they're passing laws that they're putting on us, and then they're taking our money and then pushing it over to another country. I don't want to pay for anybody other country.
Yeah, you're right.
Ever. And you know what gets me is we see these videos that are on YouTube of all these bombings, but you see no blood. You see nobody with a limb missing. You know, and the reason is because they don't have the money to fake the blood for the special effects. Like, I'm not saying that all of it's fake, but a lot of it's fake. You know, there's a lot of the videos that we see out there on these news stations, they're fabricated.
Because
I'm in the war zone right now. I'm on the side of the road. That's why everybody else is standing up, walking up behind you. You know, they did that. Like, it's like
they did a green screen.
They're ever since Obama, they've been able to manipulate the public using news media in order to get money.
And I think
it's the biggest con in America is the news media now. They're conning everybody, and I mean, they've had like con artists, like movies about stuff. This is the greatest con I've ever seen in my entire life. I was raised by a pretty good con artist. You know, Steve was no slouch. He would con people left and right.
I think we should end this podcast here. This was episode 54? 54, actually, 54.
Shoot, we're going to be up in the triple digits soon.
So we'll see you next time, and
hopefully we'll try and keep it shorter because, you know, they don't like us.
Right. So we got to get on the short side of things.
Shorter.
More Asian. See you later. Peace.
Later.